I don't need no one to save me. I was born to be the greatest. All that time in that basement, all that time isn't wasted. Rapping getting faded. I just wanna tell my mom that I made it. Just wanna be the topic of the conversation. Used to rock the gold plated. Now I'm wearing gold chains like I'm famous.
What's going on? It's your boy Kings and Dreams, back for a special interview. Got my man Gerard. He is one of my subscribers, not a content creator, but one of my subscribers. And I want to thank you for joining me, Gerard. I really appreciate you, brother. I know that you've been in my chat a few times. I think I've pulled you up on my panel a few times too. And so one of the things I think that what sparked the conversation, I believe I had a friend of the channel, Miss Polly, and she was talking about polyandry on her side and things of that sort, right? So I kind of wanted to have a conversation with you about that. So I wanted to thank you for joining me here. I really, really appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, no problem, man. It's early in the morning. That's why I'm in my car. That's why I'm in my car versus in the house, man. You know what I'm saying? Wife and kids in the house, so I had to
No
go out to
worries,
the
man.
Yeah.
No worries, man. So I won't take up too much of your time. So let's just jump right into it, right? And I know that you've been traveling for a bit. So let's just talk about the traveling aspect. How long have you been traveling, brother?
I mean, technically, man, I've been traveling, man, since I was a teenager. You know what I'm saying? I live in Detroit.
Yeah.
So we're right across the river. You know, anybody knows Detroit as a river, and you know, you know what I'm saying? We got the Great Lakes and we have a river, and right across the river is Canada. So
right.
I've been actually a passport bro before I even knew what a passport bro was. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, in high school or what have you, 16, 17. And in Canada, they allow you to drink at 18. So they actually had teen clubs. So, I used to literally catch the bus over to Canada, man. So that was my first experience of traveling, I guess, you know what I'm saying, going across the water, you know what I'm saying, going across the river to Canada and going to teen nightclubs. And I met women, over there. And then subsequently I joined the Army, back in 1997. And so my first duty station was Hawaii. So I was stationed there for 3 years, had a Japanese Filipino girlfriend. And so then, we fast forward to 2010. That's when I met my second wife. She was a South African, and that's the first time I ever went to the African continent. So, and then for a little while, I was kind of in a hiatus. But then in 2021, I went to Kenya. And I've been there 3 times since, and that's where I met these lovely ladies that, you know what I'm saying, we're going to be talking about. So that's a quick little synopsis.
Oh, perfect, man. Perfect. Okay, so you've been traveling for a while, and then you joined the military. Thank you for your service, by the way, brother.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. I retired in 2020 out of the Army National Guard. I was regular Army from 1997 to 2004, and the rest of the time I did was in Florida Army National Guard and the Michigan Army National Guard, and I retired in 2020.
Okay, yeah, my brother retired from the Marines. I don't remember the year, but I think the year that he started, I want to say was like 92 or 93. I could be off with that a little bit, but yeah. So a few years before you had joined the Army. But again, thank you for your service. So I'll jump right into it. What made you want to become a part of the poly lifestyle?
All right, so I'll make a distinction, because a lot of people, it's pretty trendy to say poly at this moment, but you know what I mean. I'm a polygamist, so what that basically means, or a polygynist.
Mm-hmm. Oh, did you freeze? Oh, you're on mute, brother.
So in the traditional sense of what when we think of we think of polygyny, which is one man, multiple women.
Mm-hmm.
What complicated answer, but um I became a Muslim in 2000 and I'm sorry, not even 2000. What am I talking about? I became a Muslim in 1998. That's when I first took my shahada. That's when I took my shahada or what have you. And part of being a Muslim is you know, polygamy is part of that, or polygyny,
Mm-hmm.
to be more specific, right? One man, multiple women. In Islam is up to four wives, technically. Uh, was in you know what I mean? I guess when I accepted the religion, that's part of it, right? But even then, I really hadn't like honed in on that particular aspect of the religion, and that wasn't the reason why I became a Muslim. But I want to say, when I started to really take that into consideration was in 2010. Actually 2010, yeah, 2010. Me and my first wife, the mother of my oldest daughter, we were going through a divorce, and that's when I met my second wife from South Africa, or what have you. When me and her, you know, me and my first wife were breaking up, and then my first wife indicated that she, you know, she wanted to continue the relationship or what have you. And then you have this option, you know what I'm saying? There's option of, you know, hey, you know, instead of me just completely, you know, abandoning her, or, you know, letting that relationship completely die, you know, I had the option of, you know, in Islam, because at this time, actually at this time, my first wife actually became Muslim as well. And I was becoming more active in my religion. And it was like, okay, well then, you know, this is a good happy medium between the two. You know, and that's, so really in 2010 is really I embraced that whole quote unquote poly lifestyle, if you want to say,
Right,
in
right, right,
2000
right.
in 2010. So yeah, that's when I became an open polygamist at that point in time.
Okay. All right. So 2023. So almost
No,
about 50.
2010.
Oh no, I was saying that this year is
Oh yeah,
2023.
yeah. True,
Yeah, and
true,
so
true.
so what I was about to say is that almost 15 years.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yep. You're wow, God. I didn't even think about it that way. But yes, since 2010, I have embraced this lifestyle. I haven't turned back.
Mhm.
I'm no longer with my first wife. I'm no longer with my second wife. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. That they're no longer in the mix at all. But yep, yeah. That's when I first took the plunge, I guess, openly. I mean, I want to say, as a young man, you know what I mean. I've always struggled with, you know, kind of being in monogamy, and I was kind of pseudo in the lifestyle, but I didn't really officially, you know, embrace it and be open with both my partners until 2010.
I see. I see. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Yeah, so that makes sense now. So due to the fact that you're a Muslim, you know, you're able to be open with it without, you know, without really any issues as far as our religion is concerned, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, gotcha, man. Next question. So what would you say are some of the benefits in this lifestyle for you or for anyone that's interested in being a part of this lifestyle?
I would say the benefits is community and family
Mhm.
building. You know,
Right.
a lot of times people want to focus on the salacious, and i.e., like, oh, you know, you just want to do this because you could have, you know, sex with multiple women. You know, if you look at Western lifestyles, that's already you know, a faction of it, or
Right.
a factor in it. And honestly, you know, when you're open about it, it's way more than that. And so for me, is the ability to create family and generational wealth. You know, that's the main aspect for it. or main benefit, in my opinion. I can, in this particular situation, I can have multiple children, at the same time, versus like if I was in a monogamous situation, it'll be like once every, if you did it on time, and we know that's not how things work when you have children.
Right,
Or
right.
you know what I'm saying. But yeah, that allows you that. And then too, like, the more people, the more the merrier, right? I always say, like, listen, if it makes sense financially for two people to combine, two adults to combine their financial resources, wouldn't it make sense to have more than just, two adults? Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Sharing of tasks, i.e. with the sisterhood, or the sister wives, you know what I mean? And in an ideal setting, right? That's where I see the benefits of it. Is if you're into family creation, family promotion, this is, the most expedient way to get that done, in my opinion.
Okay, all right. And so let's kind of do a 180 on that question, right? So you told me about some of the advantages. What are some of the challenges that one may come across?
Oh, most definitely. As a man, it puts, what I'm saying, you are the focal point. So, when you think about poly, right? Because you say poly, because you have,
Right.
obviously this polyamory, and that could be a lot of many different ways that could look. But traditionally, and when you, in this particular form of poly, quote unquote, the
Mhm.
focus is in a V, you know what I'm saying? Or it could be a closed triangle too. You could have, possibly, the women have, sexual relations with each other. But either or, like, there has to be a leader, and it, and I mean, it's that I could still, even though I'm talking about a negative, this could possibly be a positive. But but for most men, this is why men shy away from this, is that the onus is upon you to be the leader, and for you to, what I'm saying, like, everything is dependent upon you from a financial standpoint, emotional standpoint, leadership standpoint, and it really makes a man a better man, in my opinion, if he's able to rise to the occasion. So for a lot of guys, they rather just, like, sleep around, you know what I mean, because therefore they don't have really any obligation or responsibilities. But in this situation, the responsibility is on me, you know what I'm saying, however many women there are, right? You know what I'm saying? And so that could be, quote unquote, a negative. Obviously, if the women don't get along, that there's jealousy, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have that already in a monogamous relationship. So however many more people that are at it, you have to manage all those different personalities and things of that nature. That could be viewed as a negative.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And so my next question is, as a fellow traveler, whether you want to call yourself passport bro, blue book gentleman, travel community, right? Can you see this culture being more popularized in the West, due to the fact that you are starting to see that there are more women than men in the West. We have different communities outside of the heterosexual community, right? You also
Mhm.
have incarceration and things of that sort. So there's really not much options for some of these women. So do you think that this lifestyle will actually kind of become more of a norm because of the things that I've mentioned?
I mean, we kind of already in a pseudo polygamy situation or poly
Right,
situation, right? You know
right.
what I'm saying? Most men have multiple, BMs, as they say it, or I hate to freaking use that term, but most
Yeah,
men have women, most men have children by multiple women, and most women have actually multiple children by multiple fathers. So we're
right.
already kind of like in a de facto situation, right?
Mhm.
From my, prior to me going to Kenya, like I said, I was already in this lifestyle in the West. You know what I'm saying? Like, from, openly in 2010, in 2016, 17, I joined multiple Facebook groups where, there was a focus on being in polygamy, you know what I mean? And polygyny more specifically, man, one man, multiple women. So there were women who were interested in doing that, and there's a community in the West already. I don't have the numbers specifically, but there have been, talks of there being women, groups of people actively in the United States practicing this particular form of polygamy for multiple years. I mean, like upwards of 200 to 300,000, some estimates. Give me just 1 second, man, because I got to get the light back up. My bad.
Yeah, no worries, no worries, no worries. Ladies, I'll be getting to you in a minute. I just have a couple of more questions for him, and then I'll get right to you, ladies. All right, so the light is back on. Oh, he dropped off.
No, I'm still here, man. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. So just a couple of more questions, as I mentioned. So you mentioned in 2021 you met both of these ladies. Is that correct?
Well, yes. I met Yvonne in 2021, and then I met Maureen. It was that was 2022. It was that 2022. Yeah, it was 2022. Yeah, because I've been to Kenya. Once the first time was in March to June of 2021, and then the subsequent times I've been to Kenya actually straddle 2 years. Right, so I was in Kenya. The second time was from January to March of 2022, as well as the last time I was there was in November of 2022 to January of 2023. So that's why I had to make that distinction. So yeah, me and Maureen met towards a later portion of my second trip in 2022. So
okay. All right. And so the next part of my question is that so how long have you been in a relationship with them both together?
Well, I guess it would have been separately. I've been with Yvonne the longest.
Okay.
Right, because I met her in 2021 in my first trip. I want to say it was April, Yvonne, when we met the first time. Yeah, so we've been in relationships since April of 2021, and then Maureen we met, I want to say, in March of 2022. Yeah. So I didn't introduce them to each other, so it was like a separate situation, and I didn't introduce them to each other really till after I had left in the second trip. And they've been in contact and in communique since I want to say the summer fall of 2022.
Okay.
Yeah, and so by my third trip, which happened in November of 22 until to January of 23. You know what I mean? By my third trip, they both met me at the airport. If that makes any sense. So
yes. But at that time, I just want to make sure that I understand. So at that time, they had known of each other, and they were introduced to each other.
Yeah, they were introduced. You're right. They were introduced to each other sometime in, I want to say, the late summer, fall of 22.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, because you said they both came to the airport. Like, I just didn't want to be like, okay, who is this?
No, they knew each other at that point in time. You know what I'm saying? They planned coming to meet me. Everyone was in full disclosure at that point.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. And so my last question for you, Jay, is that do you plan on having any more wives in the future, or what's your game plan?
You asking a lot of questions, Kings.
You said I'm asking a lot of what?
You asking a lot of questions, Kings, man. I'm thinking like, oh man, is this like DJ Vlad? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell him myself. No, man. Yeah. So yes, I will. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I actually already have a wife in Kenya. And there was some issues originally back in my second trip
Okay.
or what have you. But slowly but surely, my wife that what I'm saying, I actually, because she's also Muslim. Not Yvonne and Maureen are not Muslim. They are not Muslim, actually Christian.
Oh, okay.
That's their religion. So, but
Okay.
yes, but now, things have kind of, patched up with my Muslim wife in Kenya, and just recently, she reached out to Yvonne or what have you. So yes, there is more. Yes, there's more. There's plans to add more people. Yes, that is, to the gist of your question, and the answer is yes.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. And Yvonne and Maureen, thank you so much for being so patient while I asked Gerard these questions. It's nice to meet you both. Just wanted to have a conversation with you both. I'm gonna make your screen big. You don't have to move anything. It's just that our viewers will want to see who you ladies are. So if you can still hear my voice, but you won't be able to see me. But I did have a couple of questions for you ladies. So, have either of you either been in a poly relationship and or marriage before?
No.
No, we haven't.
Okay. All right. And so what was it about this particular situation that made you want to be interested in actually involving yourself in a poly relationship?
For me, I'd say first is that I love Jay so much, and
Mm-hmm.
I was willing to, have an open mind about it. Um, Thinking that I come from a very huge family, and the kids. I love children so much.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's actually about that for me. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Perfect. And then what about you, Maureen?
Um, for me, he was honest from the word go. He told me his situation and he explained it to me in a manner that showed that he was mature about the situation and he was being honest with me. So I was like, since he was honest and I do like this guy, why don't I give it a try? So
Mm.
yeah, that's we are here now. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned honesty because I think that like if guys would be honest trying to be in a situation like this, I think that more women would be more open to it, but I think that sometimes guys will not be honest and put women in situations unwillingly, and that's where issues can occur. That's just my opinion on that one.
Yeah.
Okay. So from a woman's perspective, and I'll start with you, Maureen, on this one. What would you say have been some of the benefits from your perspective, being in a polygamous relationship?
Okay, so for me, first of all, I'm an introvert. So I don't have many friends. So now at least I can say I do have a best friend. and
Yeah.
and yeah, so in case I have a problem, I know I can trust Yvonne and she's always going to be there for me. So I can say at least I gained a sister wife from that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you, Yvonne?
Well, I feel the same because it is so funny that we've grown so close.
Yeah, we are
Mhm.
so close.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I feel the same. I feel secure. I feel, safe because she's my sister. We understand each other, you know, as women. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now it things worked out great. You ladies are best friends, sisters, and things of that sort. Now, when getting into this situation, were there any concerns before you guys have met and grew close that hey, maybe I may not get along with this person, or problems may arise?
Yeah, at first it was like, it's awkward, you're like, this person, I don't know this woman, I don't know her intentions,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's jealousy also because they're like, I'm sharing my man.
Yeah.
I got you. I got
Yeah.
you. I
Oh
got you.
shit. Okay, okay.
Oh no, you guys are right there.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
so it was bad at first. It was like, I didn't know if we could click, but
Yeah,
after some time, after like spending time together and talking and getting to know each other, yeah, we eventually clicked after a while. Yeah. Yeah, we did.
that's great. That's great. And so I'll kind of flip the benefits question, as I did for Jay, on the opposite. What are some of the challenges or potential challenges being in a poly relationship? And I'll start with you, Yvonne.
Well, first the challenges are, you know, the fact that we have to share time. You
Mm-hmm.
know, here right now he's not in Kenya. We haven't seen him for a while, and we're really looking forward to have him here. So first, for me, the challenge is, the time we spend. Because even if he comes to Kenya, he has to see his other Muslim wife, and so yeah, that for me feels like it's a bit of a challenge.
I see. Okay. So
Yeah,
the main thing for you, Yvonne, would be quality time.
yeah, quality time.
Okay. And then what about you, Maureen?
I feel like first of all, because this is new to us, we've never been in such a situation. Adjusting was really hard, because you're used to having that person and you're not sharing with someone else. So the fact that you have to adjust, that you can accommodate him and the other sister wives was a
Mhm.
little bit hard for me. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so I'll stick with you, Maureen. So I'll ask you this question. So, do you recommend other women to be in poly relationships? And if so, what are some of the steps that they should take?
Yeah, I would definitely recommend, because let me first use from where I am.
Yeah.
So in Kenya, there's a lot of cheating going on from married men, married women, and all that, and people are not being honest with it. So you find that a lot of families get broken because of lies and not being honest from the word go. So if
Right.
you get a man who is honest with you and he's like, this and this is going on in my life, and can you adjust to this and this? He's honest from the word go to get. So I feel like having this conversation with that person saves a lot of time, misunderstanding, communication, and all that. So I think I would recommend people, and also you'll have a big family, because Yvonne's children will be my children will be Yvonne's children. So we are going to be like a big community. Yeah.
All right. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much. And then you, Yvonne?
Well, yes, I would advise ladies to get into polygamy because as Maureen said, there's a lot of cheating, and you know, it might lead to diseases, as you know, as well, which is like a very big challenge when it comes to like having multiple partners, which is very wrong. So at least when you have that one person, and you know his status, he knows his wife's status, that is even healthy.
Yeah, and safer.
Yeah, and safer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that's one thing for me. Sure.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
perfect. And then last question, and I'll stick with you again, Yvonne.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to Kenyan women who want to have an American man for a husband, whether it's a polygamous, marriage, or if it's just, just simply monogamous? What advice would you give?
Um, I think it's not one thing about Kenyan or African girls and how we were raised. We were raised to be submissive to our husbands. You have to cook, you have to clean, we're brought up knowing all these things. So I think it's not really a challenge for a Kenyan or an African lady to, get a man from the US because we were trained for this. I think we were brought up for this.
Right.
Yeah, from childhood. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. And then Maureen, you could finish us off.
Yeah, so I feel like you can find love anywhere. It doesn't matter if the person is in Kenya, Tanzania, US, you can find love anywhere. So the fact that the person is genuine with you and he's willing to put in effort. I mean, why not go for it, you know? Yeah, you don't have to limit yourself just because you're in Kenya, you cannot date someone who's outside.
Yeah, who's
Yeah,
abroad.
yeah.
Yeah.
So go for it.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Perfect. Perfect. Well, I want to thank you all so much. Jay, thank you so much for being here. I know it's 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning for us. We got to get to work.
Right, right,
But
right, right,
um,
right.
ladies, I want to thank you both, Maureen and Yvonne, for taking the time to be here with me. So I really, really appreciate it. So thank you all so much. And Jay, I will tap in with you soon, brother, for sure. So
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be a follow up. I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of the haters out there, man. Every time I've ever done the stream where polygamy is brought up, man, there's a bunch of haters. Both from the men and more surprisingly, the men hate a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely gonna have to. You know what I'm saying? I feel we're gonna have a follow up on this. But yeah, thanks for having me. And thanks to my lovely ladies. I love you both. And I appreciate you were willing to you know what I'm saying, because they're very closed and private people,
yeah.
And I appreciate them for being subjected to questions that they may not be comfortable with. So I appreciate it.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. Because I remember Maureen said that she's introverted. So I appreciate you both though. Appreciate you both. And yes, so there probably will be some follow up, but I do think that the ladies have some great answers to like even the critics and the attachers, even if they have something to say. I think the ladies have some great answers. So
Yeah,
uh,
me too. I agree.
absolutely. We'll definitely see. But again, I appreciate everyone here. Thank you all for your time. Stay purposely purposeful, and I'm out of here.
Peace.